Hello. It just turned 1 a.m. here on Saturday, May the 10th. Yes, I missed Friday, but not too far behind. No. Because I worked, and then I slept, I overslept, turned out it didn't matter, and then went to see a movie. So, no, we were supposed to go bowling today, for yesterday, I guess, technically. I got off Parks and Rec late. I think it was like 1:30. We were supposed to originally go bowling for Marilee's birthday at 3 o'clock. So I was like, well, I can stay a little late. I was like, as long as I get home by like 2, I can get home and take a quick shower, maybe catch a little nap. But I got home, I think it was maybe a quarter till 2. It was almost 2 o'clock. But then Marilee tells me that they're pushing it back to 4 because they were waiting for Heidi. So I was like, okay, that gives me an extra hour to, take a nap, whatever. Of course, I showered. I didn't really do too much today. The trash route. I did do the trash route. That could make you kind of grody sometimes. Trying to get those bags out of there and so yeah, I took a shower, then took a nap. It had been pushed off till 4 o'clock, and then I woke up about 4:30. I was like, whoops. But I can't remember if I got a message from Marilee. I think I had a message from Marilee saying that Francesca was going to pick me up because they were running late. Heather and Blaine were getting a pool installed today, I think, or something, and the pool people weren't done yet. So Blaine wasn't wanting to leave the house until they were gone, and then Marilee didn't want to go bowling without Blaine, so they were waiting for the pool people to be done, and then the pool people were never done. So she just decided to not do it. So not do the bowling for her birthday. It was probably getting late, and she was probably getting tired. She was probably ready to go to bed. Marilee keeps a tight schedule usually. So, but I'm gonna see her tomorrow. It's Mother's Day weekend, of course. So happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. Whatever, maybe the good ones. Not all of them are good, I suppose. But but yeah, Marilee's gonna come have lunch with us. Actually, her mom is coming to town, and Sean is actually going to come to town because since Mom's going to be here, we're going to discuss the vacation, Vacay Day 2025. And I was like, hey, Mom's going to be here. We're going to discuss the trip. If you want to come down and discuss it with us, And then his plans changed because he thought his family was celebrating Mother's Day on Saturday, so he's like, oh, I can come down Sunday. But then, like, at the last minute, they changed it to Sunday, so now he's coming down on Saturday. So yeah, we're gonna have a little get together tomorrow, I guess. Well, we're gonna go have lunch at La Souterre, and whatever else we do, I don't really know. So, but moms, the moms are going to get to visit Marilee's mom and my mom, so that'll be good. But yeah. But that's tomorrow. Later today, I guess, since it's 1 a.m. But originally, I went to see Thunderbolts, and originally, because all the showings on the app said standard, so I just picked the latest showing because I like going to the latest showing, because that gives me some extra time, especially now, to nap a little bit more, and because I'm not always ready to put on pants and leave the house. Like I gotta psych myself up for it. So, yeah. Originally, I picked the 10:30 showing, and then as of this morning, because I guess that would have been like 8:30, whatever, when we were at the shop and I was looking it up. I was the only one in my showing. Uh, I was like, oh, I'd be okay having the theater to myself or whatever. So I started clicking around on some of the other times, just to see if anyone was. It's on top of being Mother's Day weekend, it's also graduation weekend for the college here. So I thought, oh, maybe people are going and doing something else, whatever, celebrating, graduating, whatever. So I started clicking around on some of the other times, and the 10 o'clock time was on the grand screen. They have something called a grand screen, which I'm assuming is like IMAX-ish screen, giant screen, some kind of thing like that. And then I clicked on the 9:30 showing, and it said 3D. And y'all know me, I'm a 3 diva, so I had to go see my movie in 3D. So I changed my time, up to my time an hour. But at that point, I'd already napped. I can't remember if I napped any extra. But I'm about to. After I answer this question. I feel like I'm gonna get this uploading and then crash out for a bit. But so yeah, I could have been getting home. What time? Because it's a 2 hour movie. So when I went to the 9:30 showing, of course all the trailers, whatever, blah blah blah. Before that, I think I was getting out a little after midnight. So that's good. So that's why your question did not get answered on Friday, because I know I usually do Friday, but Saturday morning, not too far into Saturday, since it's 1:07 a.m. now. But yeah, I can't really think of updates. I mean, it's just kind of been work. Pete, who I've probably mentioned multiple times from Parks and Rec, actually did put in his letter of resignation this week. So he's going to go train to be an arborist. He likes working with trees and woodworking and all that sort of stuff. So I mean, he might as well get a job that he, because Parks and Rec, you don't always get to, there's always tasks to do, but it doesn't always include trees, working with trees, maintaining trees, whatever, blah blah blah. Which is what Pete really likes to do. So he might as well get a job doing, what he enjoys full time and get paid like 2 or 3 times the amount to do it. Nothing wrong with that. So, if he's skilled, I guess he's got to go through some kind of training first, which he'll pass with flying colors. He's, like today we were putting up the tarps at the pool, and we were up on the top. We were putting the tarp at the top of the water slide, and that's tall enough as it is. And then he was on a ladder, and then he was kind of like leaning over, like stepping on the railing. He had 1 foot on the ladder, 1 foot on the railing. Unless OSHA's listening, then none of this happened at all. But to get these tarps up. So that's what I said. Like last year when we were closing down the pool, I think it was, and they had to screw these things into the spouts or whatever, and on the the deep end of the pool, Pete was just like leaning over and screwing these things in, and it's like Pete has nothing. Pete has no fear. I have nothing but fear. Like ladders, like leaning over. Like I started to try to lean over to do one of those, and I'm like, I cannot do it. I can't do it. Those things with the pool. It's like I don't even know if I could reach. It's like I don't know. Like there's a reason I don't drive. Like that's the reason. Fear. So and discombobulation. Like I get behind the wheel of a car, and it's like there's just so many things. Like I remember in driver's ed, which I did take, our teacher, who was also the football coach, so that was imposing as well. And I was the only person in our driver's ed who had never drove before because it's farm community. So a lot of people, been driving trucks out on the farm and yada yada yada. So I was the only idiot in the room that didn't know what they were doing. But he's like, you gotta watch your speed, you gotta watch your mirrors, you gotta, it's just so many things like all at once that like. Everywhere all at once. Like, watch your speed, watch your mirrors. And there's two mirrors. There's a side mirror, and there's the rear view mirror. You gotta watch the road in front of you. Maintain your speed. Let's, like, not go too far to the one side of the road or the other. And there's so many things that it's like, watch the other cars. Blah, 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 blah. So much stuff. So much stuff in my head to, like, try to process all at once. And I just feel like it's safer for everyone involved if I don't get behind the wheel of a car at that point, So, but yes, Pete has no fear, so he will do well in his training, and a pass with flying colors, I'm sure. So, but this next week is going to be his last week, so Pete is moving on from the Parks and the Rec, so, but. Maybe we'll get together and, we all have each other's numbers, so get together, go get some margs or something, hang out. But him and his wife actually have a booth at the farmer's market, so, I could always just, like, put on pants and leave the house some Saturday morning, go down to the farmer's market and say hello, so. But that's the only real development in my life as of right now. And speaking of movie tickets, I have already bought my movie ticket for next week, because do you know what comes out next week? The new Final Destination movie. So, yes, I already have my ticket to that as well. So, ready to go. And tonight I tried the mozzarella sticks, because I can't remember, there was somewhere else I was thinking about getting mozzarella sticks and didn't, and then at that Undercliff I was going to get mozzarella sticks, but they just ran out, so it's like I haven't gotten my mozzarella stick fix. But I did tonight at the theater, and they were good. Where the hell's my phone? I don't know. I don't know where the fuck I left my phone. But they were good, just to say that. I took a picture of them and put them online to show people my movie snack that I was having. But, so yeah, that's really the only thing that, noteworthy, I suppose, that happened in the last week that I can think of. Of course, it's late, early, whatever you want to call, 1:13 a.m., so my brain may not be processing things that it should. That's the only thing I can think of at the moment. So, hopefully, I can think to answer this question, which is, you can only eat one food for the rest of your life. Pizza. Oh, so now I don't even get to choose the food. They're like, you only eat one food for the rest of your life, pizza. Which toppings do you choose? Well, it gotta have the meat. It's gotta be an Arby's pizza. It's gotta have the meats. That's for fucking sure. Every topping, maybe? I mean, I guess maybe every topping would get boring, but, I mean, maybe I'm cheating, but if you have every topping, if you have, like, a Supreme Pizza all the time, but all the meats, like pepperoni, ham, bacon, beef, whatever, like sauce, I guess beef and sausage, are those beef and sausage? I feel like those are two different pizzas, even though it seems the same thing, but maybe not, I don't know. It's all meat to me, so hey. But if you have all that, and then you have, like, the green peppers and the olives and the mushrooms, I'm not saying we don't need to put while I am okay with pineapple on certain pizzas, I don't think that I would need it on this one. But yeah, if you get basically if you get like all meat pizza with supreme toppings, onions, blah 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 blah, you can only eat one food for the rest of your life, but you can customize it to your liking because like anything, if you want like I ordered from a Little Caesars the other day, a beef and mushroom pizza, you just take all the other toppings off and you have a beef and mushroom pizza. If you want like a bacon and olive pizza for whatever reason, you just take all the toppings off but the bacon and the olives. So it gives you options to have a variety of pizzas at the very least, instead of just like, oh yeah, pepperoni every meal for the rest of your fucking life. It's got to be fucking stuffed crust. Okay, we're discussing toppings specifically, but one of my toppings would have to be stuffed crust, I think. That's not really a topping, but I'm adding it. It's an addendum. Is that the right word that I'm looking for? Like stuffed crust pizza. Yes. But yeah, just get all the toppings, and then you can pick and choose what you want to eat for that day. Like ham and onions, maybe, or ham and onions and olives and green peppers and whatever. Am I forgetting a popular pizza topping? I don't know. But or you can take all of it off and just have a cheese pizza if you want. Like, be sure, like, hedge the system, hedge your bets, cheat the system. Like, if I can only have pizza for the rest of my life, I'm gonna make this to where, I can, work it in my favor to where it's like, I still have, many different varieties of pizza to have, depending on what I want that day. What sounds good, That's how you do. Actually, I like cheating the system when, you get these coupons, I mean, it's worked like anywhere that I've ordered a pizza or whatever. They're like a 1-topping pizza, or like a 2-topping pizza or whatever. I've had that one before, and it's like, you put toppings on half the pizza. So like half the pizza I'll have like pepperoni, the other half I'll have ham, and then, maybe for my second topping, I put, mushrooms or whatever. Or I put mushrooms on one half and olives on the other. And I mean, you basically get, 2 different pizzas out of, even though it's supposed to be like, 2-topping pizza. I think that usually works. Maybe I have to do different meats on half and half, and then do like, one vegetable or whatever. Maybe doing half and half and half and half. Maybe that hasn't worked. Maybe that, I don't know. It's cheating the system. So it's what I'm gonna do. I'm guilty as charged. That was a gavel breaking a window, I guess. I don't. The desk is made of glass. Maybe when you clang with the trolley. See, this is what I'm saying. My brain is drifting off, and I might be too. So, that's my answer, and I'm sticking to it because it's smart. It's smart. You gotta think. Gotta think ahead. But anyway, I have 5 minutes of taping time left, and I've answered the question and updated you. And before I fall asleep, I'm gonna let you go and have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful Mother's Day weekend, for celebrations, whatever you have, whatever. Yes, and I'll see you for what I see you, unless I don't wake up, which could happen.